So,
Wanes.
I mean, there's other reasons, but that's a big one. All right. So, I guess I'm going to gather up Gaston's talisman and meditate briefly upon the transitory nature of life.
Yeah, he's got an expensive talisman, he's got an expensive sword, an expensive paring dagger, and an expensive book on him. What do you want?
I'm feeling worse and worse over here.
By the way, while all this is going on, while he's looting Gaston's body or having an emotional scene, I feel like us in the background should be starting like a bucket brigade to try and save what could be saved.
Oh, are there enough people? I thought they scattered when
the mayor came and got me, so there's people in town somewhere.
That's true. The mayor is still there.
They've had 8 rounds to run away. They would usually when people start getting, they might have fled.
Yeah, but you don't go grab somebody to help you out if your intent is just to run away. The mayor ran and got me and brought me in.
Is there anyone here?
The mayor is there, and it seems like some of the people didn't leave. So, the when you guys got the message to Mage Cross early, remember Anushka, you took once you ran into the carnival folk who seemed very sketchy. You warned them. At that point, the mayor began to create kind of like bug out bags. They were organizing sort of a retreat, an evacuation of the town, but it didn't happen because they weren't sure how credible the information was, and also because they only had so much time to prep for it, right? But some of those bug out bags existed, and a lot of people who fled the square fled to sort of that rendezvous point where they had stashed a lot of this stuff. So they aren't like completely gone into the night. Calloway says that he can get you guys. He'll fetch the others, and they'll help you if you want to do the bucket brigade idea, which I don't think is a bad idea.
Bucket brigade.
All right. So you guys do. I'm not going to have you roll for it at this point. Thanks to the magical meddling of Gaston, the fire didn't really consume the whole house. It would have been a lot worse if it had been lit correctly. There is a considerable amount of fire damage on the front wall, but after about 10 to 20 minutes of hard work passing these buckets and dousing the flames, you do manage to quell it before the house is consumed. In the darkness now, Calloway pants. You can see that the night's excitement has taken its toll on the old badger, and he looks at you and he says, "I'm grateful for what you've done. I can't believe that our king would be so impossibly cruel." And then he looks to the other Mage Cross citizens, and he turns to you, Connor, and he says, "We can't stay here. They'll come back with more men. There's no reason for them not to finish the job they started. We must leave."
I'm afraid that is quite true, yes.
A young rabbit girl pipes up in the back. She says, "But where will we go?"
That's a good question.
Have all the drinks.
I mean, that really seems like a question that depends on your both political and belief structure. If you believe in progressive attitudes, perhaps you should head to Harrogate. If you believe in the, symmetrical nature of things, maybe head north to Delaware country.
And you are, sir?
Yes, I am.
Yes,
no, I guess technically I'm not. I do not have noble title or a knight standing, so I am not a sir. I am merely Harmon. I say, by the way, I never gave a physical description.
Yeah, let's do it.
Harmon has a ruddy brown hair coloring. He is coated in head to toe in a dark steel-looking aerith armor with those, red circular things. I don't know what you call it. Metallic grain that aerith armor has over other armors.
Chatoyance.
Yeah, holding a wooden shield and a battle air. Also, he has a black cape over his shoulders. On the back has a symbol that looks like a shield with a sword laid on top of it. It's clearly not a crest or anything. It just seems to be like an image sewn into a cape.
Cool. Kind of like his own makeshift symbol, I guess.
Right. It's not. Sorry, the words escape me. It's not a noble crest or anything. Quite obviously.
Right. Yeah.
Because if anybody had that gift to be able to indicate, to be able to read heraldry,
Heraldry, right? Yeah.
they'd be like, that's nothing. That means nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if Connor has that gift. Connor, what's your read on this guy? You just fought beside him. He seems capable, I imagine.
Well, I don't have heraldry, but still sure that his heraldry has a specific look to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I could probably tell.
Well, do you have any academics?
Let me check.
Yeah, academics
Nope.
can be used to identify codes of arms. So I might know who he's supposed to be. Let me take a check. One success. I doubt he's from any of the major houses.
Thank you for your assistance, stranger. I am Connor Laverde Clavis. Who may you be?
As I just said, my name is Harmon. I am a former soldier of the Abattoir. Recently been spending my time as a mercenary overseas.
Let's see.
I'm on my way back now from the Non to Port de Sol.
Well, your assistance was greatly appreciated.
So you're a sellsword, and then you saw carnage and for some reason took up arms against the king's men?
The mayor came and got me off of the road, and I saw people in dire straits and sought to help them. Unfortunately, I ran up next to your man there. The moment of his death, could not help him. I was simply too late.
I owe Gaston everything. He saved my life.
Well, there's not much that can be done there, not unless you know a miracle worker. There are ways to save a man. Unfortunately, they come at great price, and that price increases the longer that person remains dead.
Well, that's also not something we're supposed to be talking about.
I honestly do not put much faith into faith.
Well, actually, Gaston was an Athanasian, which means he believes in life and
was he? Father Elrich was an Athanasian. I don't know if Gaston was.
He was an Athanasian. Okay, sorry. I don't know what Gaston was then.
No, I prayed with the father, so maybe I am.
Yeah.
Right, but you remember...
You can't ask him now.
I mean, Father Elrich, as I said before, towed the main line, which was something I can't remember. Athanasian isn't the main line of the church. It's
no.
Heterodoxy.
Church doctrine is that you should live a just life, and then when you're dead, go on to your eternal reward.
Penance is
whatever
the
one. Yeah.
Penance is the main line of the church. So when Father Elrich prays and says everything to you guys, he's saying penance. If you had spoken to him privately, he would have told you about Athanasians.
Yeah, so. Athanasia are the guys who are most willing to do a resurrection because they're the ones who believe in immortality.
And that all magic comes from one source, even white magic.
None of that. So I think what we need to do is we need to, I guess we need to get him back to Triskellion because I think that's where his relatives are and find out what to do with his body. Sigh. Unless we bury him here in Mage Cross. With Gaston gone and Father Elrich fled, it's just me and Connor now.
Well, if what you say is true, and I've made myself an enemy of the crown, then it seems like I'm irrevocably saddled alongside you.
No, I don't. I think there is some confusion here. This malefactor de la Vega is speaking in the king's name, but why the king would want to wipe out an entire, like, this is a huge town. You don't just wipe it out for no reason. I think this is there's some sort of machinations going on here where someone is exploiting the chaos to their own ends. And if that malefactor is not De La Vega, it is someone involved with them. The enemies to the crown are numerous and untiring.
Be that as it may, it is somebody who speaks for the king, with forces numerous to count. If they are heading back for reinforcements, that is problematic at best.
Then we should return to the capital at once and report the enormities that have occurred here.
Calloway will clear his throat and say, I would recommend for all of us avoiding the capital would be the best course of action. Do you not agree? Feels a little outclassed in this conversation, but no interest in of the many places that he plans to take his people. Triskellion is not one of them. He's kind of taken aback that you guys are willing to stroll right back into the capital city.
My first thought on that matter is to walk into the lion's den seems to be a fool's folly.
Well, where would you go? I mean, you can't just take a town of dozens of people and just go somewhere else. You're buffeted on the west by the Bisclave, who would sell you into slavery. The north, the Doloro, who would want nothing to do with you and your strange, because they have their own strange personal customs. So they would also sell you into slavery. And this is Rinaldi domain. Anywhere you would be, if you accede to being outlaws, anywhere here, your lives are forfeit as outlaws. I don't know where you think you're going to go.
Probably could travel to the Avodopois territory.
To where?
The Avodopois. There are factions amongst the Avodopois that are not as so friendly to the crown.
Yeah, they'd also like. I mean, if you win, I'm not. I'm probably, this is probably an issue you're going to have to resolve yourself. A huge refugee movement showing up in a foreign country is what I will call a big to-do.
It's true.
So,
it's a big to-do.
I don't know how big it is, though. This is a town that's like under 100.
Oh, towns are defined in the book.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's under 100.
It's over 10, but under 100.
Yeah, so this literally could be just 10 people.
Yeah, it's not.
People.
It's a non-zero people,
10
but
people walked into.
10 people walked into a town. Yeah, it's the kind of thing where, like, it's pretty big, but I have to imagine that there are probably like army movements might be a bad example, but it's the closest thing I can imagine. There would be instances of large groups of people marching along the roads that would be larger than this, I think.
Yeah, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 houses on the map. So it's probably, 20 to 30 people.
Yeah.
Which,
Considering,
to be honest, like I said, if you were 20 to 30 people and you went to the Bisclave or the Avodopois saying we need help, they go, great. Clap you in irons, and you guys get to work in the salt mines. You're worth 900 dinar apiece.
that is certainly a risk.
That's if you're lucky.
I mean, it also depends on where you go.
Calloway's.
We're all Red Ball fans here, right?
I mean,
I've never read it.
I haven't read it. I've only watched all the complete animated series.
All right. Well, the recurring theme in Redwall is being enslaved. That's what Redwall is completely about. It's about people enslaving other people.
Right, but it's not everybody in Redwall is a slaver. It's like,
nope, some of them are dead.
Well, no. I mean, there's 2 slave gangs. I don't know what you call them. in Redwall that I remember. And everybody else is just people.
Well, people who don't want to be enslaved.
Right. I just mean that
Who wants to be enslaved?
they're not the overarching slavers are not the overarching theme of everybody in Redwall. There are other bad people that aren't slavers.
The guy with the mask wants to kill everybody, but sure. Well, anyway, Della Vega wants. I'm also wondering why they're so keen on destroying this town. Because first we proved that you didn't need to be destroyed, and then Della Vega said, "Oh, now the king said you had to be destroyed anyway." You don't just burn down an entire village or town for no freaking reason.
Calloway can't help but agree with you with that logic.
No, there's something going on here, and whatever it is, the answers are probably in the palace. We should report what we've seen here. I am but a messenger. I have no status to lose. I just report on what I have seen. So I don't fear whatever treason Della Vega may accuse me of. First of all, I can get there faster than he can, and secondly, I refute this. My duty is to the crown first and foremost. So, especially to make sure they get their stuff back.
That's while you're there, you might as well check, right?
We might as well. Yes.
Okay. Well, Calloway is. He says, if you wish to go there, I mean, we will not stop you. I think I will take these people to Merzu, the Mirza, the Bisclave town. It's to the southwest of Mage Cross. It's 3 days journey. It's probably the largest town that is the closest to them at this point.
I can only counsel the mayor saying if you throw in with the Bisclave, that will seal the deal that you are traitors to the crown. So if you do that, that is a Rubicon that once crossed. You sealed your fate and renounced Rinaldi.
Well, we can't just stay here and wait for them to return. I've heard rumors that the mayor of Mirza is no friend to the Rinaldi crown. Perhaps he'll take pity on us and our situation. I mean, it's a long shot, but it's all that we have.
Well, I think to myself, he is a career politician full of negotiation and deceit and all necessary skills to do that. So I will defer to him on this matter. You've obviously put some thought into it.
I mean,
I apologize. Has effervescently gotten away from it.
Conversely, you could drag some of these dead bodies into these houses, burn the houses down, and claim everyone's dead.
Huh. That thought had not occurred to him. He says it would be, I'm not sure I wish to put my people through the effort and the experience of tonight of burning down their own homes, but that's not the worst idea, I suppose.
I mean, if they do
at least it could cover our tracks.
If they do it themselves, then they know they have nothing to return to, thus making the trip easier.
That is some hard, harsh. You seem like someone who has led a hard life. I'm not sure. I personally have the stomach to tell these people to do such a thing, but perhaps I will bring it up with some of them. There is logic in what you say.
Out of character, did De La Vega say that we as a group were also marked for death, or is that something I mistakenly heard?
Oh, that's a question. I'm trying to remember exactly what he said. I know he encouraged you guys to stay when he encountered you when he first showed up, and he definitely intended for you all to burn with the rest of the village. He has no love for you, in particular, Connor.
Because I think what it was I had made up my mind to be stubbornly royalist until I had that wiped off my face by the biggest smack ever in history, and I'm pretty sure that him publicly admitting that we were also marked for death was what did it.
I mean, if you don't somehow get ahead of this, Connor, you're going to have your title and lands removed from you.
Yes, I understand that.
Yeah,
so you have a limited window to get ahead of this.
It's a very real concern. I would say that if he did not call you guys out specifically, as he was fleeing and as the crowd was breaking, he did target you guys. He did tell his guardsmen to target you specifically. So, one way or another, yes, you guys have been called out by De La Vega.
Well, it looks like we got some soldiers to chase down. And the ones who ran.
It's true. I think Connor Potter, the porcupine, is gonna sort of like sidle up to you. He's struggling under the weight of the bag that you left him, and he's got the mace. It's kind of like dragging on the ground, like hanging from his belt. But he says, "Sir, if you wouldn't mind, I don't wish to go to Mirza. I would follow you, sir, if I could be of any help."
Yes, I think you'd be a very helpful addition to this group, young. And did I get his name in the past? I think I did.
Yeah, Potter.
Yes, Potter. If you've nothing left here, then you may come with me.
He wipes away a tear, but he seems heartened to hear that you'll take him, and he puffs up his chest. He says, "Anything you ask of me, sir, I will do my best. I won't let you down." And he kind of like shrugs up the backpack, tries to make it look like it ain't no thing. He's good to go.
I'll take that, young man. It's okay.
No, sir, no. I would gladly carry this. It's not a problem. I've got it.
Soon you'll have your own load. Give me mine.
This seems to make sense to him, and he will hand the pack back over and return the mace too if you desire it.
Yeah, he doesn't have anywhere on his belt to keep it. I'll take it for now.
Okay, cool.
But I do plan on finding a way to arm and possibly armor him soon.
All right. Looks like you got yourself a squire. Yeah, so let's talk about the next steps here. Sounds like Anushka is for returning to the capital city of Triskellion.
How was all right, I'm not looting Gaston's body, but Gaston was armed with an expensive sword, is that correct?
Yeah, an aluminum blade.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and take my plan right now is to take Gaston's aluminum blade because I need something to defend myself. And I need to go to the capital both to confirm that they've received the sword and to tell them of the dread events that have happened here before De La Vega gets there and tells them his version of the events. That means I have to abandon you, Connor, because I will travel swiftly alone.
Of course.
Then yes, then I must do my duty as you do yours. May fortune favor you. And with that, I'm going back to the capital. The only thing I took two things from Gaston. I took his talisman, so I'd have something to bury, and I took his sword because I'm gonna need that. All of his weird wizard crap and stuff I'm leaving here. I'm sure the mayor will find something to do with it.
Yeah. If the mayor, if you're offering him the spoils, the mayor will graciously accept them.
Well, I don't say I'm offering the spoils. I'm saying like, do it, in situ with body as you would do. I must be off. My duty's away. So
what he'll do is he'll say that they can't spare much time, but they will bury him as he died, defending the town as he could. Or
he died in violence in what Harmon said might be a cursed place. You kind of want to bury those people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's definitely going to be buried, but he's going to offer Connor, because he was your traveling companion. He'll offer you all of Gaston's possessions if you want them. Like it's cool stuff, but it doesn't seem right for Calloway to take them, and he also wouldn't really know what to do with them beyond trying to sell them. So,
all right, yeah, we'll give. That's not too heavy. We'll give the robe and book to Potter. He can carry those. Did Gaston have a backpack that those could be put into?
I assume he probably did spend a dinar on a bag at some point to shove all this in, but he has I have just posted what he has. He has 23 denarii. He's got his aluminum epee, his paring dagger, some ink and parchment, some food, his tent, his 2 expensive books, which are thaumaturgy and elementalism, and his leather armor, and a short sword.
So I guess if anyone can read, that might be an interesting career path. But for now, we'll say that Potter has got that on him.
Well, everything but the tent. I've already got a tent for Connor, so we can. If the people of Mage Cross are going to be traveling, they could use it more than me. But
Okay.
yeah, and I doubt the leather armor would fit Connor because it's fit for a bird.
Yeah, probably not. Well, it might be worth something if you wanted to sell it back.
Well, I don't have haggling, so not worth that much. But I don't know if I want to go to possibly the Avatar lands to try to put out any fires that might be caused over there, or try to beat De La Vega with to Triskellion.
Well, we're gonna have Anushka roll. Really, she's got the upper hand because De La Vega is traveling by land. Although I will say, they have messengers at Three Corner Fort, so he has a shorter way to go than you do. Once he hits Three Corners Fort, they'll probably dispatch a flyer.
I don't have to go to Three Corners and then.
Yeah, you just go straight there,
capital,
beeline it.
straight to the capital. And I didn't see any messengers or that with him. Although if he has supernatural stuff, I can't do anything about that. But yeah, that's why I have to leave like quickly.
Right. But yeah, so before we split the party though, I do want to have a general idea. Like let's plan it out and then we'll parcel it out and make sure that everyone gets a scene and we know when we're going to reconvene. I don't want to you know what I'm trying to say, right? So Connor.
Oh, that's right. If I leave and come back, where would I find Connor? Where is Connor going next?
Right, that is the question.
That's what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah, where would I find you, Connor?
Connor has some interesting things to consider too. I think Harmon mentioned it, but yeah, well, probably out of character, but yeah, Connor does have like land and titles to concern himself with.
Right.
Now this falls into some interesting political stuff. I'm assuming, and maybe I'm assuming wrong, so you can tell me what you think, Connor. I'm assuming that Connor, he's a member of a noble household, right? That is subservient of the avoirdupois, correct?
Yes.
So the way that I interpret sort of the political landscape of Calabria is that Triskellion and the Rinaldi family technically are like kings over everything. Everyone has agreed that it's better to like let these guys do their thing than to be an all-out open war, at least for right now, right? But within their given territories, these each of these houses basically run their own kingdom. The avoirdupois, I don't know if he's an archduke or not, but he basically is a king for all intents and purposes within the boundaries of his land, who pays, homage and service to Rinaldi, but the Rinaldi army is nothing compared to the avoirdupois army. There's an issue of what could be enforced with a lot of this stuff. There's a lot.
I mean, in all fairness, the avoirdupois were about to take out Triskellion when the avoirdupois king vassalized himself on the Vie de Victory due to the light of Sulemer healing him back to life and Heloise herself visiting his tent. Okay, we have to acknowledge what the common man would think, and this is the common man thing, is that the avoirdupois on the eve of victory surrendered and vassalized themselves to the Rinaldi. So
Right. Politically, the situation, but that was a couple hundred years ago. So politically, what the situation is that if anyone declare the Avoirdupois, Bisclave, and Dolorau are strong nations, much stronger than Rinaldi, way stronger. But the problem is, if any one of them declares themselves king, and says we're ruler of all of Calabria, the other two nations will get upset.
Yeah, and probably ally to take him down.
Yeah, you can't do that. We're king. We want to be king. So the Don Rinaldi is king by convenience. So that's what's really stopping that from happening. So, but all of them are vying for. The big problem is that even though any one of them could take Triskellion, could you keep it? Like, you don't want to go to war and fight and get hurt so badly that the other two nations, recognizing they have to keep the peace, come in and destroy you. Like that's the problem.
Yeah.
No one right now thinks we can gain, do this without making it a desert, they might say. So so the Avoirdupois, so all of them are peers. It's complicated, even though they recognize Rinaldi as die. So Connor, as a blooded noble, is recognized by the Rinaldi as being a peer of the realm, and thus being blooded is afforded all the things nobles get. He's exempt. He's exempt from low justice. He claims high justice. In other words, like this always shows up in some of the Ironclaw stuff that we got. If you show up and some random guard stops you on the road, you say, well, I want to pass. The random guards can say, I'm not letting you through. I don't have to do any of this. You're not noble. I don't have to listen to you. There's no this Bill of Rights and all people created equal. Well, none of that applies to Connor. Connor says, look, ring, blooded. I'm from a noble house. And that way, and commoners have to accept that and let him go.
Yeah. He could kill somebody if he wanted to, and as long as they were low, probably get away with it without any kind of justice.
Well, you can kill people and get away with all that. But no, he's exempt from low justice, not from high justice. Commoners can at best only detain him. When we say trial by his peers, that means that if he's arrested and tried, he's different from a bandit. Like, if we ran into a bandit, we could just murder them because they're bandits. We could probably get away with that. But if you murder Connor, the Avoirdupois will come asking about that. Like, Gaston was a commoner, right?
I believe so.
He didn't have any title at all.
Right. So the fact that Gaston has died is terrible. But if Connor died, we could make a big issue out of it because, if a bunch of commoners acting in the king's name killed him, we could demand restitution and sue and all this kind of stuff. With Gaston being dead,
and the problem being that if the King Vaslov demands that Connor's family be stripped of land and title, and that the Avoirdupois, as vassals, uphold that decision, then Connor is in a bad way.
Well, I'm not sure what, but Connor has wealth and nobility, so he's not a nobody. So,
right. I'm just saying that if it passes down the line, because the Avoirdupois do have a history of stripping people of everything that they own, noble or not. So,
right, but this is also a big to-do. I don't think Connor actually has any enemies, and the Avoirdupois don't like the Rinaldi, and this new king is weak anyway. I mean, this could snowball. Connor, since he has minor title, could actually go and say, hey, the king's sending orders to just kill random peasants. And the Avoirdupois might say, last time I checked,
that's not very chivalrous.
They don't like being killed for random reasons. Seeing as the Avoirdupois are friends of people everywhere, we could say, you guys could just renounce this whole Rinaldi king because he's God tenuous at best, really. If you threw him with the Avoirdupois, we'd be so much happier. And that's, once again, this gets into, if we could just make the people sign themselves over to us without having to go to war, that makes this whole taking over the kingdom thing a lot easier.
Yeah, so I do think I could be well served by having Connor go back home and report this whole thing
at least making a formal report. That would actually be pretty good, even though, unfortunately, as a Rinaldi citizen, I'm not, as a Rinaldi citizen, I don't approve of your foreign meddling in our affairs. As a person who hates bloodshed and needless suffering at the hands of malefactors, your plan has a lot of merit.
All right, so is it still the road via Salutis that goes west to east across Calabria to
Yeah, so we'd want to head to what, Eloge?
Yeah, the problem is the main road that you would take from here to Aberdois Domain goes straight through Three Corners Fort and smacks straight into De La Vega. De La Vega may interrupt you and have ideas of his own. Like De La Vega probably doesn't. He saw you at the event, and you fly obvious colors, right?
Yes.
Right. So I don't know if De La Vega saw you and thought, "Uh-oh, there is a foreigner here who, took up arms against us. Maybe I should do something about that." But also the fact that you would be heading directly east to where he is. You cross paths with him, and I can't
we
think
could go
he's
off-road me to cross around the upper side of Three Corners Fort, outside of the territory, and just head straight for Hanet,
which is
right
slower.
through the wilds.
Yeah, that's slower, but it might be safer. So that's a question of what you want to do. I know, Connor, you're no stranger to battle. But once again, I have to think of poor Gaston.
Mm-hmm.
Hang my head.
So I'm just laughing to myself. Poor Gaston, who could have flown away at any moment.
Well, also, I put, I can only counsel
trying to save a child.
Yeah, it would have left Potter all alone
in a field. Some sort of potter's field.
Huh. Oh, well. So, what would you, if you feel you have to inform your masters, Connor, I would advise you to not take the main roads. And while I would guide you, I would have to come get you. So do you want to try risking going through the country? Oh, and also wandering through the countryside like that, you could wander into bandits or people who confuse you for a bit.
Yes, it might be better served taking the road because on this sheet there's no navigation, no observation. I do have endurance, so I can stand the trip.
Question regarding where this town is. Are we in A16 or not A16? Are we in
Right.
Are we in T16 right now?
Let me get you. So you're to the left. I'm using the map in the host book.
Yeah, I'm just using the overall Calabria map when I say T16.
Yeah, there's a grid on it.
There's a grid. I'm thinking like P or Q 15 or 16, yeah, along the Via Salutis.
That's a half a day's travel. Flying, I mean. Anushka can make that flight in half a day.
Well, diagonally, so it's like...
It's diagonally, she did last time because she rolled incredibly well. I think the average for that would be like a full day's flight.
Because I would assume that would have been a week's worth of travel, but that's on foot, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, and also, there's also, like traveling through the sky is road rate. No, it isn't like flying people. There's a reason why flight's a big deal in Ironclaw. Flying, I could do it in about a day.
That's like 18 leagues of flying, though, in half a day. That's why I was wondering.
18 leagues of flying in half a day. That's a tall order. Normally, I can do like 6 to 10 leagues in it.
Well, that's what you did, though. You did about 18 leagues in half a day.
Well,
if we're in P or Q, that's from like.
Yeah. Well, I didn't sleep, so.
It was a marathon.
I have to push myself.
There was that short amount of time why I thought we might have been in T16 because I thought we were like real close, and also I don't remember crossing the East Grandvert River.
Yeah, did we cross the river?
Yes.
Okay, we did cross the river.
Okay, I didn't remember that. That's why.
I didn't. Probably because I didn't say it, but yeah.
Okay, because that would be a big to-do because that river does not have a bridge. You're talking Mississippi River.
Wow, really? Okay.
Oregon Trail territory.
That one's
If
my
the-
mistake. I just didn't know
Honk
the
wagon
geography.
quickly.
Yeah, cock the wagon for the river.
If the river's on the map, you can put a boat on it.
Gotcha. Yeah. I assumed, I guess, the road was covering it, but
So
Okay,
we're probably east of Grant.
I would
Yeah.
assume there's a ferry across the river so we don't have to ford it.
I'm gonna, thank you. I'm gonna go with ferry on that one, just because that
Well, 'cause if there's a
considerably
ferry,
changes the distances. Whoa.
that means that De La Vega is not going to be, unless he has a boat waiting for him.
Hmm.
Also, that complicates things because that means De La Vega can get back to, because I thought we were in.
Oh, I
D16
guess
as well.
that's true.
Because
You could
that means
just
De La
take
Vega
it.
can get on a boat and go straight back to the capital.
Just take the boat to the. Yep. Yeah, I
And we
guess
know
so.
for certain that De La Vega and his entourage doesn't have somebody that can fly.
There was nobody
Well-
that you saw at the town of Mage Cross.
No one we saw there, but you can have messengers back. Also, if he got the three corners, he could. I mean, there's all
I mean,
sorts
having
of
a person that can fly, like Anushka here, is literally the closest thing to having, like, a telegram or something like that.
Yeah.
Because literally, they get the message back and forth, and communication in a battlefield situation is, like, top tier. It's what you need.
Well, I assume he does. In fact, that's why I need to get back to the palace. But I'm a swift flyer, so I might be able to beat them there. So actually, instead of Connor, I'll come look for you since you're heading east. The other skills that messengers get is we get all necessary skills to find someone we're looking for. So I stay alive no matter what occurs.
Real quick, just one last pitch of something to do. If we are, in fact, between the East and West Granvert, somewhere in that area, then perhaps it might be easier not to try and, stealth our way through Three Corners Fort, but instead follow the river up to the monastery and follow that river across Bruges to Harmono, which is a abattoir territory. We would just have to. I think it would be easier for us to try and slide our way through the edge of Doloro territory than it would be to.
Doloro territory.
Yeah, but I said if we go through the monastery, follow the river up, we might be able to catch a ride across whatever river that is that crosses the Bruges to reach Harmono. Which
And I have plenty of money to hire a boat.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that might be easier than to cross Three Corners Fort, which is ostensibly hostile territory, to just pass through Doloro territory, which is, as far as I know, neutral to us, because we are nobodies to them.
As far as we know, neutral to us, and at best, anti-Rinaldi.
Yeah, and the Rinaldi, I don't think, would want to chase us through Doloro territory, so we could just circumvent the entire thing with a boat trip across that one river to Harmono, which is abattoir territory on same river.
Well, Connor, how are your finances?
I have 124 dinar.
So you have 120 in loose change, but you've already tapped your wealth, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, 120 can get you pretty far. I think boat rentals in the book.
I mean, there's only two of us right now to be concerned about, and oh, never mind, you got the kid.
Yep, I have to pay for him too.
Yeah, that's
Well,
that much. I can pay for my own way.
Yeah, he's already tapped that though, so he's a little light on cash and cred.
I mean, I can pay for my own
Well-
way a certain distance anyway.
That's
Yeah,
also
'cause
a chapter.
Riverboat's usually 2 dinar per league, and each one of those squares is 6 leagues. Yeah, he's got enough money to do it.
Yeah, we're also, we had a long description about chapters and refreshes before. I'm still a little bit foggy because I think my interpretation of chapter, I think the book's interpretation of chapter is quite different from what we settled on, which I'm fine either way.
It's supposed to be once an adventure or once a story,
Yeah, I think.
not once a session. It's definitely not once
Yeah.
a session. If
The way the
adventure
book
takes-
describes it, it sounds like it's multiple times a session. It says every 90 minutes of play in.
It's not supposed to
I gotta
be. I'm
find
not sure where you got that from. I'm telling you, that's not what it is. Chapters listed after, like there's rest, which is once a day, and then it's listed chapters listed after that because it's longer than that. It's
Okay,
not every 90 minutes of play.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too. I'll find the page number, but I'm not gonna do that right now. But the but if we are calling it the end of sort of like a story arc, I could see considering the Mage Cross arc pretty much concluded at this point. Maybe the beginning of your travel could be a chapter reset. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm fine
If
with
the
that.
next
That was
sort of
I mean, it might be that it's recharged. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
it could
also
be the
listed
kind
as-
of thing
Wealth
where
is also listed as influence, which means it recharges. I mean, that's to keep players from tapping it and getting everything in the universe.
I mean, in a meta sense, it's also been 3 or 4 sessions of the Mage Cross arc, which is an arc.
right.
So I'm
There
fine
was
with
drama. I do think that I might offer the goal. I'm trying to figure out exactly what it. So I want to get to a concrete point where I want to find like the concrete goal to phrase this, but it sounds like getting to Avoirdupois lands, sort of Connor making contact with his family house and determining the political situations could be a goal. But I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to give a goal that I don't know, like the set end point for.
Well, a goal
like
has
the
to
goal
be
should
an
be kind of clear.
actionable. A goal has to be an actionable event. So
Actionable,
everything
yeah.
you've just described there is actionable. You could just say reach the Avoirdupois and have that be either reach them by message or reach them physically. Reach is a very
Okay.
nebulous
yeah, I mean,
word.
for Connor to say I've borne witness to an atrocity in the Rinaldi name, like talk to another person who would actually act on that.
Cool. Okay, so let's do that. I like that. If you guys are interested,
Yeah.
reach the Avoirdupois, an actionable goal.
And I'll leave it up to you where the family is, although being raccoons, we're probably going to be near water.
I feel like you did give a location. I said on sort of like the southeast shore of the Avoirdupois land.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see those 2 points that jut out?
Yeah.
Possibly the southern one.
Okay. I see around. I'm gonna butcher
like
some
Verminick,
names
whatever
here.
it's called.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at too. Yeah, that makes sense to me. There's also an interesting detail of the Avoirdupois, which is that they've got some really good metalsmiths. I assume that sort of influenced your family's house, who are alumen miners and smiths. Is that right?
Yes.
Cool.
I figured
cool.
that's where the wealth came from.
Yeah, I like that.
Aluminum forge is in Enclume.
That's true. And Enclume are world renowned, but I doubt that they're the only people who are smithing in Avoirdupois territory.
Hey, man, I don't know if it influences your choice any Arcloid, but AD16 Femme it's known for its badger nobility.
Okay, I mean we can retcon this as well too.
I mean they fought against the Avoirdupois, but were brought under the Avoirdupois banner early in its history. So the badgers there retained their nobility.
I don't want to take over somebody else's territory here.
Well, no, I'm just throwing out there that you could be part of that. I mean, it's not.
All
They're
right.
not a named house, as far as I know. They're just part of the history of the Avoirdupois. That the Avoirdupois Archebites fought the badger nobility there and brought them under sway. Way a long time ago.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways we could play it. We could have it. We could stick to the book on that, and that could be another house. I kind of like the idea that Connor, if we're going to have Connor be a member of the nobility and be a blooded noble, I like the idea that his house is sort of a player, right, in the fiction that we're creating. So I don't mind if you want your house to be sort of the major players in that area, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, like when the Badgers went against the Abbot Paul, we might have sided with them, and so we have slightly higher status than the Badgers.
Sure, yeah,
All right.
that makes sense to me. Okay. And it looks like in this time, Griffin, you have deftly rolled up a new PC to replace your fallen one.
Yep, that's right.
Okay. So, the current plan, you guys are going to head east to the Granzavort River? Granvert River.
Big
You hope
Green
to
River.
secure the big green one. You hope to secure passage on a boat that will take you north up the river into Delorio land to the town of Burgess. From there, you could, or actually no, you could follow the river all the way up to, what did Theta say? Harmonio, the Avoirdupois town on the river, Granvert.
Harmono. Yeah, it's
Harmono.
actually Harmony. Yep, we're going the Big Green River to Harmony.
Yeah,
All
that's
right, cool.
since that's the easiest way to get into Evertopor lands, and that's where he would have told Anushka they're going.
All right, I like it. Okay. So I think first things first, we need to resolve this trip that Anushka is going to take. We need to see if she can beat De La Vega's messengers back to the king, and then we need to see what she finds out when she gets there. So let's start with
order.
Yeah. Start with some rolls.
Okay. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 successes, and I get to reroll that D4 because my favorite thing is flying. All right.
Okay.
5 successes. I'm very good at what I do.
You are expert at what you do. And you will make it back to the capital of Triskellion before any of De La Vega's I'll say with 5 successes before they even reach the fort.
I mean, hopefully. Well, I mean, I go straight to the palace because I have to report what I have witnessed to an agent.
Exactly.
I have witnessed, I must report my witness. For the record, I am not accusing De La Vega of any crimes. I'm only reporting what it is that I have witnessed, and I swear with my own eyes.
All right. And who are you going to report this to? An agent of the throne, like a
I mean, if I can get somebody to take my testimony, where I say I show up, and that's the hard part, is I, a commoner, show up and say I've witnessed something at Mage Cross. I may be able to get somebody who says, Mage Cross, well, hey, that was on my docket here of places that might be destroyed. I should probably listen to this random person who claims to be from there and take the credibility of their story. But I might also be rejected for being some weirdo Yahoo. I still for getting people to listen to me. Let's see. The most appropriate skill for that would be negotiation.
All right, let's do will and negotiation. I feel like there's an assertive quality to this.
Well, you could give me there's assist bonuses in the book, and you could give me a D8 assist bonus if you think that my story is credible enough, and I was already here, that the person wants to hear me, and give me a bonus to that.
I will tell you that there's only one person in Triskellion who fits that description, and it's the Archbishop Brecken, and only because you did that.
The Archbishop's not the palace. The Archbishop is the church.
It's true.
It's separate from the state.
It's true. It's a separate thing. You're not talking to the same people.
I mean,
there's
happy
limited
to
things
the
they can do.
Archbishop what I've seen, but now we're going to get into an issue of the church and the state being political stuff, and it's like, wow. Plus, also, I have to go back to the castle because I need to make sure that sword was delivered.
That's true too. So I'm not going to give you the assist bonus unless you want to talk to Brecken, but you might not want to talk to Brecken because that's not who you're trying to get through to anyway.
Yeah, I'm looking. So I would suggest that would be negotiation. All right.
Let's do will negotiation. I'm also going to give this a target of 4, so you want a 5 or better. Hey, but you nailed it. All right.
My earnestness gets me in.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Not to a noble, but to a factotum.
Yeah.
A bureaucrat.
In between a bureaucrat.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to give you the time of day as you're trying to press with this like important information. Finally, you get someone who will wearily hear your testimony and make a note of it. He promises that this will get through to the, if not the king, then one of his advisors at the very least.
I mean, just making it. This is the kind of thing that adventurers find later. Hey, we went to the library and found a record of somebody saying something horrible happened here. And then
Right, yeah. Exactly, yep. And then, it looks like he died halfway through scrolling it. He goes,
it's okay. I'm a future audio log that you'll eventually find in the FPS.
Totally.
Hey, dude, it's called due diligence. By the way, while I'm here, do you happen to know if the king got that sword?
Yeah, oh right. So he says, oh yes, the whole palace has been sort of talking about that, the recovered Rinaldi heirloom. Last I heard, they were in discussions with the avoirdupois. They had intended to deliver the sword as a gift to the Acclume forges. It is rumored that the Enclume? It is rumored that the Rinaldi blade was forged with some sort of lost technology or magical means. The Enclume, the finest swordsmith in the land, have long desired to get their hands on one. And our king, in his graciousness, is keen to deliver it as a present to them to help further cement their bonds of fealty.
Excellent. As a great weight lifted from my shoulders. I feel as if a supernatural burden has been lifted from me.
I would say you do not feel as if a supernatural burden has been lifted.
Wait, I don't think this has accomplished the delivery.
Well, so, and here's the wrench in the works once again. You recall a dream that you had the last time you rested a bunch of angry Rinaldi ghosts. I'm going to say that at any point that you kind of like close your eyes, since touching the sword, you've been assaulted by these images of gray foxes from throughout the centuries. They're no longer pleased with you in particular, Anushka. I would say I was planning to have a bit more of a detailed dream sequence. We just kind of didn't get there. But given the circumstances, I'm going to say that you could surmise that these ghosts feel that the Jakoba line are usurpers. They do not consider them true heirs of the Rinaldi throne.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I mean, but wasn't the premise here that it's based on Anushka's knowledge, not necessarily what the ghosts think?
Well, except the ghosts are hassling me and telling me, nope, this doesn't count.
Okay.
It's based on my knowledge. So if I'm haunted by ghosts as part of the curse who are telling me it doesn't count.
There you go.
Well, I've got a reason to go see the Archbishop then.
Okay, then. He will gladly take audience with you.
Yeah. Well, screw these guys. I've been cursed, and I need a curse lifted off of me. This is the other way to fix it, which is the, I'd rather just be exorcised. I mean, I'm going to tell them everything. And by the way, I've also been cursed. I'm like, screw these guys. I delivered their sword that was to the heir and this thing. That doesn't count. It's like, I'm not going to go searching your stupid landscape to find another one of your stupid inbred blue bloods to go ahead and get that.
Whoa.
I delivered this at great cost to me. I want this curse lifted because also, who are the Rinaldi? Who do they think they are that they can be so worldly as to try and use dark powers from without to assault my soul? I plead to you, Archbishop, to release me from these dark forces that haunt me. Because as a bat, I close my eyes a lot.
Please, child, tell me how you really feel about the situation.
I mean, I will
No.
dispose freely, and I actually think I have the skills of disposing freely of everything that I've seen.
Interesting. All right. No, I think that was expertly role played, and it shows us a little bit more of maybe Anushka's real feelings about the noble classes.
It's like, okay, yeah, I know. Look, I know no fear and I serve with joy, but like, okay, I'm done serving you. Like, I did what you asked.
All right. Brecken says, "Yes. Hush, my child. It will all be fine. Truly, you are a victim in this circumstance, and I'm sure someone here can help."
I brought back his talisman.
Oh dear. Brecken seems truly hurt by this information. Are you handing him the talisman?
Well, I offered to the Archbishop.
Yeah, no, he'll take it, and he closes his eyes, and you can see him mouthing a prayer to.
Yeah, I don't think that the palace took me seriously when I told them that Mage Cross, I wouldn't be so bold as to speak to the nobles about my issues, but I suppose that as clergy, when I speak and say that I believe De La Vega is a pretender with his own agenda against the throne, that you might heed my counsel.